Mad Lilies, and I'm excited to be with you today for day 10 of the 12 Days of Christmas Challenge for the amazing Cornwall Air Ambulance. When my good friend and client Karen Dickens shared her plans for the 12 Days of Christmas Challenge, I was delighted and agreed to take part. After a tough year, it's great that the team not only want to raise money for the Cornwall Air Ambulance, but to put some magic back into Christmas for the wider community. And I, with Mad Lilies, plan to help with both of these today. There's going to be a banner at the bottom of this video that you can give donations via the Just Giving site. So please donate to help us to keep the helicopter flying and to help keep more families together. So, to make our wreath, we're going to start today with a sphagnum moss wreath base. And I am going to show you, first of all, how to do a very natural wreath with using lots of different foliages. So we get the sphagnum moss wreath, and then the first foliage we're going to use is pistache. So we want to cut the pistache into small 2 to 3 centimetre pieces, which we're then going to push into the wreath. So piece, and we just push it in to the moss. Slightly tricky getting some of them in, but you want to make sure you're getting these pieces, you're getting these pieces of foliage pushed in so that we're getting coverage further out here. And the longer you leave these pieces, the wilder it will be. But likewise, if you're a neat freak and you like things quite tidy and more compact, then I would suggest leaving these pieces shorter. We're going to go a little bit wild with this, and then I'm going to show you later on just some alternatives. I mean, lots of pieces of foliage could be foraged from your garden or going out on walks. You'll find things like buried ivy. I'm going to start going in with buried ivy in a second, but this tend to work with about 5-7 foliages. And as you can see, I'm just peppering these into the wreath, pushing them in far enough so they're whole. Because if you think about it, this wreath is going to go on a front door, and the door is going to be open and closed, so we need to make sure that no pieces are going to fall out. So we've got nearly all of the pistache in, so that's about 3 or 4 stems of pistache. And I'm just going to hold it up for you to see. So we're going to go in with the second foliage. So you can see I've got an array of foliages here, and I'm going to go through them with you. So I'm just going to, this is a type of pine. Take the pine out, and then we can start. And this is just, it's got a gorgeous scent to it, and it just, it's got a lovely other texture. So you can see they come quite long pieces. I mean, there's all different types of pine you can get. We're recording this video now in the morning, so I've got a cup of tea, but I would suggest it's a great way to relax and create a little bit of me time. So maybe at lunchtime or in the evening, pouring yourself a glass of wine and doing this type of thing is great. So we're just going in with the pine now, and that's just adding in another texture. So the next foliage that we're going to go in with is eucalyptus. We'll all know eucalyptus. It's very popular. This is eucalyptus's season, so it's plentiful. You might have eucalyptus growing in the garden, or you can pretty much buy it at all good florist shops. So again, we're cutting these into manageable sizes that we can then press into the wreath. So they say preparation is everything. So you could maybe cut all your foliage pieces down so you can just go straight to insert them. So we've got our eucalyptus cut. So we're now, again, we're going to pepper in to the wreath. I'm almost going at a zigzag, peppering where I can see the moss and there's spaces. And pushing the stems quite far in as well allows into the sphagnum moss is moisture in the moss. So again, it's going to keep the wreath hydrated. See, there's a little cluster like that. That's great. We really want to push them in also at diagonals as opposed to upright. You want to go at a 45-degree angle. But you can start to see. So you might think to begin with, as you're doing the wreath, oh, is this going to come together? But quite often, it's not until you're about 2/3 of the way through, and then you can really start to see that coming together. But hopefully, I'm obviously going to work at this much quicker than you are. The key thing is to enjoy. It's a bit of a creative me time, and that is very important to everybody right now after what we've all been through. It smells really good. It's really lovely whenever you open and close the door, and every time you do that. So you can start to see we're filling out here. I'm going to get some more eucalyptus. Let's see. And you can go different lengths. Like I said before, the longer you go, the wilder it will be. I quite like a wild looking wreath. But everybody will have their own preferred style, the same ingredients. And at the end of the workshop, like 12 people will all have different wreaths. And it's lovely because everybody puts their own personality into it. I suppose it's a bit like a painting. If you do a painting, if you gave everybody a set of paints and asked them to paint something, it would all be different. So it is your wreath and your personality that's going to come out of it. So I'm just going to go in with some longer pieces. You see, so I go around the edges here, always stripping off below, which just allows a cleaner stem. And if it feels a little bit bendy, just cut it shorter to a more robust, stronger stem. Just turning this around. We'll be soon ready to go on to the next piece of foliage, which should create some more interest. Just create. So you can start to see we're starting to fill out here. So the next foliage I'm going to go in with, I have some Fulcatus, which is part of the asparagus family. Just let me see. So here's Fulcatus Fern. So you might again have this growing in the garden. Again, this is going to create another different look and feel. So you're now really looking for gaps in the wreath. Don't worry if it snaps. You're just going to push it in. It's going to be slightly shorter. It's very forgiving floristry. So that's us in Fulcatus. Oh, I found a little bit of pine. So I'm just going to hold this up and see. Yeah, I'm just going to come like this side here. Yay. And then the next foliage. So it's this is Parvy. It's a smaller leaf, but I think it's all these different leaf sizes that gives the interest and the texture. So this is Parvy. So again, I'm going to leave these quite long. I'm just going to cut them down. I'm just going to go for this wild feel. Let's see if we get these. And you can start to see this. So there. You can start to see this is sticking out at a different level. So These, I think these are a little bit too long, so I'm just going to cut them down, get them in individually. You see the way you've got those longer pieces coming out, which is quite nice. It's a little bit fiddlier to get the thinner stems in to the moss, but I think it's worthwhile for the interest that it creates in the wreath. Just keep going round and round. Wilder the better. I love a wild look. So, I think. Yay! So we're getting there, slowly but surely. So the next foliage I have to put in, and then we'll, well I've got two more pieces of foliage, and then we're going to start to go with the interesting thing. So the last type of eucalyptus, this is Populus, silver dollar, the round leaves. And again, it's just another different type of leaf. It's used a lot in wedding, silver dollar. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go in with Grevillea, which is a really gorgeous foliage, and it's got this red stem, which I think is quite festive and lovely. So let's just get the Populus in. And just cut these little leaves. Let's see how we get on with this. There might be a gap. Just building up and building up. And then we will go in with the Grevillea. So I'm just going to again cut it into more manageable size pieces. It's got a lovely thick woody stem, so it really brings the wildness in. So I'm just going to cut a few more of these, and then we'll start to bring the colour into the wreath through the use of berries and things like skimmia, which I'm going to take you through. So we'll just get these last bits of Grevillea in, and we'll have a look and see what we think. Okay. We're giving a really wild look. I'll hold it up for you in a second, and you can see. Right, I'm going to just about finish, and then I'm going to clear down the workbench, because you need a bit of a clear workbench so you can see what you're doing. See, and I've just found another 2 bits of Populus, so let's not waste those. So let's just pop those in. And I'm going to hold this up, and you can see we've nearly covered all the moss. So we'll start to go in with our interesting bits. So we're going to go in next with, this is ligustrum berry, lovely blackberry, very seasonal at this time of year. Skimmia, red skimmia, also comes in green. Quite often a lot of people have that in their gardens. Scabious seed heads. You might know scabiosa from the flower that's around in the summer. Well, these are the seed heads. red berries at this time of year. You know, you can't do a wreath without berries, and this is Hypericum berry. Lots of other berries around, like rose hip, ilex berries, winter berries, thistle, eryngium, sea holly, also known as. That's another lovely texture. And then we've also got some erica, heather, which is a lovely pink colour. And we've got wax flower, which has a lovely, when it's squeezed in your hand, it has a lovely citrus scent to it. So those are the next things we're going to put in. So I'm just going to clear this bench down first. So we're just getting those last few key foliage stems in position, and then we'll be ready to move on to all the lovely coloured parts. But I just wanted to mention again that this is the 12 Days of Christmas Challenge. We're on day 10, but there's been lots of amazing companies taking part, and I believe the Cookery Live feeds from the wonderful Rick Stein and Paul Ainsworth. These are all still available to view, and details can be found on the Cornwall Air Ambulance Trust website, www.cornwallairambulance.org. So also wanted to remind everybody that you can donate on the Just Giving website, which the link is www.justgiving.com/campaign/the 12 Days of Christmas. I think that will hopefully run along as a banner at the bottom of this video, so you can get those details. And this is all in aid of raising money for the Cornwall Air Ambulance. 100% of your donations will go to the Cornwall Air Ambulance, thanks to their new ambassador, Karen Dickens, and her company, Committee UK and Caribbean, which if you want to find out more about them, you'll find out at www.committeeboatuk.com, who are sponsoring this challenge. Okay, so now it's the fun part. Well, it's all fun really, but we get to put the colour and the texture, and we really start taking the wreath three-dimensional. So we're going to start with some berries. Again, you can get berries from the garden, like berried ivy. These are ligustrum berries, and they're one of my favourite berries, and they're around at this time of year till early spring. So we're just going to cut these. And we're just going to pepper these through. So this is a bit of dark colour coming in, and I actually quite like these leaves as well, so I'm just going to cut those because I think that's quite nice as well. So I'll put those leaves in first of all, because it's different shades, so it kind of brings a bit of, what do you call it, night and shade, dark light, and a highlighter maybe you could talk about. Now we'll get these berries in. The key thing I love about putting all this texture and everything into the wreath is every time I come through the front door and you open the door, you see it every time you're going in and out, you spot another thing in it, and like, you know, it draws your eye in, and that's really, I think, what you want to do. So we've got the berries in, so those are really nice, and then right, now we've got the berries in, what we'll go with next? Right, let's bring some red in. This is skimmia. Lots of people have this in their garden. Again, one of my favourite foliages. Also in lime green. Lime green would be good to use, and as it goes through the season, you can also get, I think it's called skimmia rubella, it's called, and it's the berried one. Forgive me, I am a florist. I'm good with the cut flowers. I'm not a gardener, so not so good with the planted flowers, but we buy this in as cut stems, but you also, many people have this in their garden. So again, I'm going to cut these stems out, and then we're going to get them into our wreath. So, and you'll really start to see, it's really nice to put these next to the blackberry, because the two of them will play off each other. But this, and as we go in, remembering to do at the sides of the wreath as well as on the front of the wreath. Just gonna just pushing them in. We'll do, then what we need to do is the shape test to see if everything's going to stay in or is it going to fall out. Because there's always a chance if you slam the door on your way out, there's going to be some's going to drop out. But the good news is you can pick it up and hopefully push it back in again. Better still, just don't slam the door. I'm just going to throw a band-aid that stem. And actually, also another tip is if you cut at a 45-degree angle, it's much easier to push into the wreath. So you can do that. And then last piece will go in here. So that's the skimming. So I think you'll agree that starts to bring a whole different dimension to the wreath. Brings warmth. So what I'm going to go in next with, let's see, pink and red is always beautiful together. So this is Erica, also known as heather. Again, I think many of you will have this in your garden. So we're going to cut in, again, white heather you could use, lilac heather. I'm just going to cut into manageable sizes. Again, the wilder you want to go, the longer you leave the stems. So we'll see. So let's see as we start to pepper these through. Start to see this coming in, the pink against the red. Love the pink against the red. And again, you're just looking for gaps that you think of how flowers and plants and foliage grow outside. They grow in clusters, so it's quite nice if you do wish to place in clusters. And remembering the edges. I've got a wonky stem, so I'm just going to have to cut him down a bit. And then that's the heathering. Then, let's see, I think we'll go with some of the blue eryngium, also known as sea holly, thistle. And this again is another lovely texture. It's very synonymous with the festive season and Christmas. So we're just putting these in. Yeah. So again, we could do clusters of these. It's nice to go in different heights. You can, I think the floristry terms we talk about recessing. Sounds a bit technical, isn't it? But that's just whenever we put the stem further down into the foliage to get balance. So again, taking my own advice and getting a slant on that cut. Just cutting these all again with a slanted edge, so it's much easier for them to actually go into the moss. He's going to be very recessed, he's quite short now, but that's lovely too. So scabious seed heads, we're going to go in with the scabious seed heads now. Absolutely adore these. And they bring another texture, and we have 3 of these, and you quite often find them in the garden if you go scabious. But any type of seed heads, if you have poppy seed heads, any type of seed heads are perfect, but it just brings another little bit of interest. So just going to pop those in. And then red berries, red Hypericum. Got 3. Yeah, here's one red Hypericum, so I'm just going to pop him in. And then I'm just really looking, think of it as a highlighter. Any bit that you feel that, like if you were looking at a picture and you needed to use a highlighter pen, it's going to bring. So I'm just going to, yay, we've got those in. So next, we've got, like, it's not a Christmas wreath unless you've got oranges. You've got to have oranges, pine cones. We can have red apples, which I adore. Cinnamon sticks. So I think what I'm going to go with to finish this off, because I've got the lovely reds and the blues, I'm going to go with pine cones. I'm going to go with some oranges to finish. So this is my real wire. So if you've made your moss wreath, you'll have used real wire. You could use any type of wires, but you just want to cut a length, and then if you get your pine cone, and then we just pull the wire around the bottom of it, and then just so it's nestled in there, and then twist, so that's really solidly on there, and then I'm just going to nestle, so if the wires are strong, you should be able to push them into moss. Have the two wires together, just push in. I quite like it when pine cones sit together, so I'm just going to get some more real wire. Here's your pine cone, so I'm just wrapping it around the bottom of the pine cone, twisting. Got 2 legs, cutting. Push these 2 legs together into the moss, so they're nestled. And then I'm looking, I think I'm going to put a piece pine cone in there, pine cone down there, and then I'm going to maybe stick 2 up here. So I'm just going to wire these quickly. People say when we're doing the workshops, oh my god, you're so quick, but I do this for a living, so please, you are you should be under no speed at all. This is about you having some me time and doing something creative, and a bit of escapism, getting creative. It's the best tonic, I promise you. Even better than the gin and tonic. Right, let's just get this pressed in here. So there's the cluster. And then we're just going to do the last 2 pine cones. Just twisting, twist, twist, twist. 2 legs down. Pushing in 2 moss there. He's in place. And 1 more here. Then we're just going to push this fella in here. A little bit fiddly. But bear with it. It's worth it, I think. And then just going to do a couple of embellishments. I kind of like to do 2 oranges together. Real wire, thread the real wire through, 2 legs, twist, cut the real wire. Maybe I'm going to do these all so they're all ready, and then I can just thread them in. So you can even do 3, that's a little dangerously. 3 orange slices, right, 1, 2, 3. You can make these at home. Got an agate, even better. Put them on a tray and cut them up. Put them on a tray in the low oven. So for 3, and and then we'll do the 2 up here. Just trying to find space. We've got those 2 in. And then the only other thing we've got to do is put the ribbon on to hang and a hook for the wreath to hang from. So you get a length of real wire and you just find a bit of wire at the back and thread through, and then create a hook. You can twist the real wire and then bring it back down and round, winding round, so it creates a really secure hook to hang it on the door from. Well, you're going to hang it from your knocker and you've got a hook in the door. So, and then I'm just going to put 2 seconds ribbon, another pop of colour. It's Christmas, so we're going with velvet ribbon. Just going to get 2 tails like that. Another little bit of real wire. Just thread this through. Twist. 2 tails. In fact, I'm just going to, so if you have your hook at 12 o'clock, you want your ribbon at 6 o'clock, and I'm just to make sure this is really secure at the bottom. I've just threaded those wires round either side. I'm just twisting them round, and then there we have it. Your wreath. Oh, a piece has dropped out. Let me get that piece. Right, because that will happen. Pieces will drop out, but as easily as they've dropped out, we're going to pop them straight back in again. So there we go. And there, doing my shake test, and nothing's falling out. So that's all good. So there you have it. This is the finished wreath that you can make with items that you can find in your garden, or you can buy from your florist, or items that you have foraged for. We also do this as a wreath kit, which we launched this year, and which are available on our website, www.madlilies.co.uk. If you just go to the Christmas section, you'll find the wreath kits, which we can post out nationally, and 10% of sales are going to the Cornwall Air Ambulance if people quote HELI, H-E-L-I, when you order in the promotional code bar. This would be our woodland style wreath, which is very much in the Mad Lilies signature style that we've taken you through doing today. But if you like more colour and you like going big, this is our ballerina wreath, dancing ballerina wreath, where we've gone in with lots of lilacs and much more pinks. But again, it's the same natural wild style, but go big or go home. The bigger the better as far as I'm concerned. And then there's another type of wreath. There's so many different types of wreath, but I mean there's also the very traditional wreath, which is the blue spruce wreath, with your pine cones and your berries and oranges. And if you want to bring a bit of glitz and glamour, well, using something like painted asparagus fern is perfect, and you can just, any good florist will have this asparagus, or you can buy, or if you grow asparagus and just get florist spray, just by winding that on, you can give yourself your wreath a little bit of glitz and glamour. So the choices are endless, you decide. So thank you for joining me today on day 10 of the 12 Days of Christmas. And just a final reminder of the banner at the bottom of the video that you can give donations via the Just Giving site, www.justgiving.com/campaign/12 Days of Christmas. So as I said, we've done day 10, there's 12 days, so day 12 will finish the 12 Days of Christmas challenge with a grand auction with some amazing lots. So I hope you will take the time to look, The auction is live now and finishes at 10 p.m. on Saturday. You can reach it by going to www.cornwallairambulanceauction. Let's continue the work together to raise money to keep them flying, helping to save lives and keeping families together. Happy Christmas to one and all.